This is the recipe for Lee. Today we are going to be making vegan cabbage rolls. And for that we'll need the following ingredients. We will need some rice. Mine is called long grain rice, but what we are looking for is the shortest grain possible. We want like the round rice. So this is the shortest that I was able to find. Look for whatever you can find and find the shortest. You need the round one. We'll need some lentils. I'm using the green lentils. You could use the cooked lentils already to accelerate your process. I'm gonna probably be using still my green lentils dry because I'm gonna be anyways boiling my rice, so I'm gonna boil my lentils at the same time. Then what we need else is a carrot, large carrot or a couple smaller. We'll need an onion, large onion. I'm going to be using a leek instead. I have a couple of leeks left, so I want to use it instead of my onion. 3 tablespoons tomato paste. Then we are going to be using a cabbage. That's where we are going to be wrapping our rice and lentils in. Then we will need some spices, and you could use, for example, Italian seasoning. I'm going to be using today a spice which is called Khmeli Suneli. This is an oriental spice. It's very fragrant, very nice. I'm gonna link above a link to the Wikipedia which talks about this spice, but feel free to use whichever you have, whichever you like, your favorite spice, your favorite herbs mix. Just feel free to use that. And we're gonna be using some salt and pepper and some fresh herbs. I'm using my fennel. It's cool, awesome, fresh, and smells divinely. You'll also need just a little bit of the flour for our sauce at the end. Start from adding a cup of your rice into your saucepan or wherever you're gonna cook it. Wash it. Add centimeter water above the level of your rice. Put it on a stove and turn it on medium high or high for now to bring it to boil, and then we'll decrease it later on. Do exactly the same with your lentils if you are cooking them from scratch. Again, we're gonna cover it so that it's a centimeter above the level of your lentils. Similarly, place them on a burner, put your temperature to high. When it's gonna start boiling, you're going to decrease the temperature here as well. One more prep you wanna do here is to get some water inside a larger pot and bring it to boil. We need to do this because we want to parboil through our cabbage. We'll also put it on high to get the bowl rolling, and then we're gonna decrease it slightly. So now I'll move to cutting out the core. So under the angle, I'm trying to cut inside and cut out the core. I think I'm at the same position where I started initially. Here, I cut out my core, and now I'm gonna put it inside my water, like so. I'll add some more water to submerge my cabbage completely. So my rice has been cooking for about 10 minutes. This is perfect. I'm taking it off. My lentils also look done. So I'm gonna take them off as well, and I'm going to drain them. Now it's gonna start peeling, slicing, dicing our onion and carrot, and for me it's leek and carrot, but feel free to use your onion. Carrot shredded. Your onion or leek is done. In the meantime, our cabbage is boiling, and we are gonna take out the outer leaf. Oh, it's even falling apart by itself. I didn't need to do many manipulations. Take it out. My second one is also cooked through and falling apart easily. So 2 minutes per kind of couple leaves, and then take them out and go on. Now we can continue with sauteing your onions and carrots. We heat it to high first, then we'll decrease it, add some oil in, wait until hotter. So I'm gonna start from adding the darker part first to allow it to cook through faster, and then I'll add this one just a couple moments later. I'm gonna add my carrot. 1 minute later, I'm adding the remaining part of my leeks. In the meantime, let's rinse and chop our greens. By the way, your greens are totally optional. In the winter you don't have your fresh greens, so just feel free to omit this. Or add your favorite spices, remember that. Okay, now let's mix up our filling. Add your rice. It's gonna be sticky, this is what you want. Add your lentils. Add your onions and carrots. I actually ended up preserving a little bit of the onions and carrots for my sauce at the end. Add your greens. Mix it. You can go right ahead with your hand. Now let's move to spices. For this quantity I'll need at least 1 tablespoon of salt. Bam. I'll crack some fresh pepper in. I'll add half a tablespoon of my favorite spice. I'm gonna dig right in with my clean hand and mix it through. You see it's sticky, this is the way we want it. Now let's work with our cabbage leaves. So what we want to achieve is probably these leaves are larger, so we're gonna make 2 cabbage rolls out of this leaf. And we want to get rid of this tough part. So a couple of ways to do that is to just kind of, you see it's bumpy, so we want to take off this bump by cutting it out like this. Or the other way is just to cut it out in a triangle like this, because anyways we want half of this. So I'm just gonna cut it in half. And it's gonna be 2 of the cabbage rolls for me. 1, 2. When you're gonna have eventually smaller leaves, just omit cutting them in half, because you may wanna need the whole leaf for the single cabbage roll. These are large, so no problems. Okay, now let's try rolling our cabbage rolls. So we're going to be eventually roasting or boiling through our cabbage rolls in a pot. I'm gonna use some of the ends that I was using and some of the leaves that were torn through to layer down 1 layer of the remains at the bottom of the pot to make sure that my cabbage rolls do not get burnt at the bottom, just in case I forget about them or something else. Now let's try and roll them. So I'm taking my leaf and I'm taking my filling and I'm placing it inside. Don't feel shy to use a lot. And I'm rolling. I'm rolling mine in a triangle, envelope shape, or whatever you call it. So I'm rolling it like this, and then like this, wrapping it around. And the tops, I'm tucking inside the tops. So my cabbage rolls are heart-shaped. There are different, this is fine. There are different approaches to doing that. Some people are doing envelopes, square types. I'm doing mine, the triangle types, the heart shape. And we are placing them on our layer. It can be larger than this. I may end up adding some more, but I'm not sure yet. Okay, let's move on. Place the filling inside. And again, I'm gonna do my heart shape. Wrap it. Tuck it in. Sometimes you may feel that you want to add some more, so feel free to add some more filling on top so it's fuller. And you're gonna tuck in your tops. Like this. So another heart, place it in the pan and go on. I moved cabbage rolls into a different container. So I placed again at the bottom the same smaller tougher parts, and I layered the bottom with the remaining or torn leaves, cabbage leaves. Okay, and place them nicely, and now I'm gonna prepare the sauce that I want to cover my cabbage rolls with, and then I'm gonna place it in the oven for about 10 to 15 minutes to bake. For our sauce, we're gonna use 2 tablespoons of flour. We're gonna have to add 3 tablespoons of tomato paste, and we're gonna add some our favorite herbs. I'm gonna use either this one or mellisunelli. I'll probably keep on using mellisunelli since I've started on this one. And we're gonna use some salt and some black pepper. So now let's move back on to our pan where we saved some of the onions and carrots. We're gonna bring it to high, and then when it's hot, we're gonna start adding the other ingredients I just showed you. I'll start from adding my flour in. I'll just give it some time, constantly mixing. Now I've been constantly mixing my flour for about a minute or more, and now I'm gonna add some liquid. Just the water, or I'm using the water that was preserved from my parboiling the cabbages. Mix it well. Add your 3 tablespoons of tomato paste. I have about half a liter of sauce here. For that I'll add less than half a tablespoon of salt. Black pepper, your spices, taste it. Mine's really good. Pour it over your cabbage rolls. If you're able, make sure to have it soak through your cabbages. See if you want to lift up some of your cabbages by the borders so that the sauce gets through or gets by. Cover it, and we are gonna bake it. Preheat your oven to 360 degrees, and we're gonna bake our cabbage rolls for 30 minutes. I'm gonna place it right inside and just leave it and come back when it's done. Okay, so here we have our cabbage rolls. Let's taste them. Falling apart nicely. Tastes nice. Enjoy it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Make sure to click the bell icon beside the subscribe button to be notified about all new videos or live stream.